Hey, I'm Ryan Naylor and this is How to Play I'm Not the Only One by Sam Smith. This was requested recently by a student of mine, Sunil, so this one goes to you, Sunil. This is a really great tune. You can do a nice beginner version with a capo on fret number 5. So what I'll do is I'll show you all the chords and the progressions. There's some syncopation here, some tricky rhythms to go through, but it's good if you're a beginner, you want to try something a little more interesting. And then I'll show you that picking part, which more closely matches the piano in the original, just after we go through all the progressions. So let's get stuck in. You will need, for a beginner version in these chords, with your capo on fret 5, a C chord, an E major, A minor, F major 7, F chord if you're feeling a bit more adventurous, and then this chord which we're going to call an F/G, or we could call it a G11. Alright, but maybe not for the beginners. We'll get to that. Okay, so the main progression is C, going to E, then A minor, and then F. Okay, now the tricky thing with this, if we take a look at the progression here, is that the chord changes don't always occur squarely on the beat. We have a lot of syncopation in which the chord changes come in the ands, that is in between the beats. Okay, the first one would be the A minor in the first measure, which comes on the and of beat number 4. What I mean by ands, it's the 8th notes. If we have a beat 1, 2, 3, 4, we can count in between the gaps. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Downbeats, the ands are upbeats. Okay, so that A minor comes on the upbeat of 4. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's a good idea to count out those beats as you play, as I just did then, okay? Just to place it carefully. Or get your metronome going. This is 8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Like that. Okay? And that F major 7 chord in the second measure, you're holding the A minor with those ties there. That's what those lines underneath the notes are. That F major is coming on the and of beat number 2 in that second measure. So here's the A minor, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and. So that all together goes like this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. You do it 3 times, 2. The last time we get C, 3 and 4 and. Okay, so in that last time, the 4th time, we do a C for 2, on beat 3 we G, and 4 C on the and of beat 4. So that is your progression for the intro, and for verse 1 at 23, and verse 2 at 46 seconds. 1 minute 10 we have the chorus, and it's very similar. We start off in the same way. We do it twice. Hey, I'm crazy. You don't think I know what you've done. And in that 3rd time, it gets a bit more interesting. We start in the same way. C, E, A minor, G, F. There's a lot of syncopation there. The G is coming on the and of beat 1. The F is coming on the and of beat 2 in that second measure of those two. Let's put it to the beat. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright? And then we end it with no, I'm not the only one. So we can use a G chord. I've written F over G. F chord with a G bass, which looks like this, which was our G11 chord. If you can manage that, maybe a little tricky for an absolute beginner. So if you can't do that, replace it with a standard G chord If you can get that in a little closer to the original, do so. And the progression is 1 and 2 and 3 and, oops, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and then we get the F over G again on the upbeat of 2 in that second measure of those two. Let's put that chorus all together. It goes, hey, I'm crazy. You don't think I know what you've done. Call me baby, I know I'm not the only one. Like that. Verse number 3 at 133 is the same as it was before. Then we have another chorus at 156. And the bridge at 220, it goes C and E. C, then we get the G or the F over G, da, 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 da. Then chorus again at 243. It's almost the same except on the very last measure you don't play the F over G, you just hold the C chord. Okay, so you do that twice. Outro at 330, it's very similar again. I'll play that for you. So it goes da, da, Okay, so this neat little picking part, which more closely matches the piano part in the original. We're still capoed at fret 5, but we are going to kind of pick the chords out. I've got my thumb on the bass notes, I'm using my index and my middle finger. Okay, and we start, the thumb is on string 5, and I'm going to hammer from the open D string, open string 4, onto the 2nd fret, a little grace note that you see in the tab. There's 1 and, so it's index, middle, middle, index, and then we go 2 hits on that E chord. I've got my thumb moving to string 6, and index and middle on strings 4 and 3. And then I've got that chord shape and thumb, index, middle in all. Put a bit of percussion in there. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and. How that ends. So we kind of go up and down. 4, 3, 4, 5, G, G, C. In the instances where we have the F over G, you put that chord in, you pick on strings 6, 4, and 3, you get that different sound. Okay? So then if we were to kind of use the same idea in the chorus, it's very similar. But what we need to do is when that ba 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 da, that call me baby, we need to put that into the picking part. So oops, we need to do this. thumb starts on the 5th string, then it moves to the 6th string with the open 4 and 3, and then no, I'm not the only one. Alright, so have some fun with that one. If you have any queries or questions, give me a comment or check out my beginner's guide, that might help you out. Do subscribe and give me a like if you enjoyed the video. It does help the channel, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye. Verse 1 at 23 seconds, I'll put a little bit of singing on there. So it goes, you and me, we made a vow, better off. I can't do it. Let's just scrap that. Ignore that.